Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ash coming out to you with another great video. Here, I'm going to demonstrate how you overcome objections. And it's really trying to overcome it, not even overcoming objections, it's actually preventing them from happening in your dialogue, in your sales dialogue, or in your conversation. So I'm going to show you a clip on a recent training we did on some of the other coaches, other salespeople that were also having some trouble in overcoming objections like that. So I'm going to show you a brief clip of that, and I'll be discussing with you on how that could do this. Okay, so let's get into it right now. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen and let's do this. So first of all, here, let me just show you this and let it play. Here we go.
When you ask them that question in the strategy session, if they're like, oh no, they're completely unsupportive, what are some things that you would do to kind of bring them from the place of understanding that, okay, well, I'm stuck, I can't make this decision, to I'm going to need to make this decision to have it be a better opportunity for my family? Like, what is that framework that you would kind of employ, or maybe just some different type of probing?
So here you see one of the coaches asking about uncertainty, like how they want to get them off the dime. They have a partner, a wife, somebody else they need to talk to about. So watch me here. I'm on the bottom left, and I'm going to go show you how to overcome that. Here we go.
Questions you would ask.
Could I answer that?
Yeah, please, 100%.
So first I'm going to clear the slate here a little bit, kind of draw the line here. In my strategy session, when I get the husband or only the wife on the call, when you're questioning, like, what are your ideal income goals, when you go through the rest of it, you want to talk to them as if the wife is sitting next to him and ask them, say, first of all, I'd say, well, let me ask you a question. Does your wife know that you're on this call? And they say no. Well, what would she say if you were? She'd be eating.
See, I already want them to visualize what it would be like for him and his wife or his partner being on this process and the strategy session. So let's continue.
Is she aligned with what you want? In other words, does she want to have financial freedom? You've got, see, here's what I find. Whenever I get an objection, it's too late. It's like when you get married and the pastor says, will you take this man to be your wife? And the wife says, well, let me think about it. It's too late. You cannot. So overcoming objections, guys, for the top of you, that's amateur stuff for me.
So here's the key thing I want you to understand is that I'm laughing sometimes myself here. But imagine you go to a wedding and the pastor is asking the husband and the wife, obviously, they're in a matrimonial ceremony, and saying, would you take this wife? Now, he's asking that question because the answer to that question could go yes, no, or maybe, right? But he wants to solidify that that's what they want. But just imagine if one of the spouses says, hey, I need to think about it. I need to talk to my partner. By that time, it's too late. If they try to overcome the objection, it's not going to go well. So obviously, there haven't been enough homework done before that actually happens. So let me show you on some of the things we overcome that. Here we go.
I want to preempt, hit that objection before the end. And if I have that objection come up at the end, I didn't do my job. So we want to get that in the beginning, saying, hey, let me ask you a question. Are you on your own, or are you also taking care of a family? That's where the objection of I want to think about it, or I want to talk to my wife comes up. We are actually bringing that out. So we say to them, hey, so you have a wife and kids. Good. Tell me, is your spouse aligned with what you want, what this business should do for you? You got to get them on the same page. Because if the guy is excited, he wants to do this, you want to think that the wife is excited. Overcoming that objection, we can do it, but I'll tell you what, I've had it. I did overcome the objection, but then 2-3 weeks later, they decided.
Here's the thing I want to make a point out. You don't want to focus on the fact that why would they say no to this? You want to focus on why they would say yes to this opportunity, whatever it is that you're selling. So remember, if you focus on why they would say no, now he's thinking in his mind that his wife may come up with that answer objection of no. But if the old saying is out of sight, out of mind, I focus on the positive, on what would happen if both of them said yes, which could be financial freedom, it could be better quality of life, whatever that your product delivers. What is the benefit that they would get once they were to acquire your product? So you want to focus on that, bringing that to the surface. What it would be like if both of you were listening to this conversation and both of you wanted whatever is the thing that you were interested in. So here we go.
Want their deposit back or something happened. So once that objection comes up, you got to be really good I'd rather want to hit that objection before it comes up. So in that phrase, say, so what if your wife was listening to this call? Would she be in a line in you wanting to improve your situation? Or another good question you could ask them if it comes up, let's say, I want to talk to my wife. I'd say, let me ask you a question. How does your wife feel about the challenges and the problems you told me about? Like not being able to pick up your kids from your school at the time you want to, and really have a voice that you want to help them. How does it feel like when you come home to work and you're dead tired and your wife says, hey, let's go out, and you don't feel like it because your job, puts you in this position? How does that make her feel? Get the wife to understand the pain rather than overcoming the objection. I find that works better, because when you talk about their pain, the pain is what's going to get them to overcome any objection. Yeah. And I've had people say, you know what, my wife would want me to be free, and okay, good. And if she's on the same page as you, you're the leader. I just posted a $200 deposit just now. And I bring that up because this guy had his wife. And the other thing you could do is negotiate on the deposit.
Before I get to the negotiated deposit, here's the thing I want to mention. You notice I bring the pain or the motivation that the client has told me when that objection comes up. Key point to remember: the client's problems, wants, needs, desires, whatever his motivation is to change, why he's considering to buy your product or services at that point. Why? Like, he could be that he wants to have more time with his family. You heard me say that. So when they say to me, hey, I need to talk to my wife, I need to do this, I need to think about it, don't try to overcome the objection, accentuate the pain, build on their why they wanted to do this. Well, that's fine, Mr. Client. I just kind of deflect the objection, because if you try to overcome the objection, they will come up with another one. Rather than focus on a conversation, you know what, that's fine, you can think about it, but let me ask you a question. You mentioned that in the last 6 months, you've been experiencing this problem, and build on the problem costing. That's another big one. And I didn't go over this on this one, but you can build on problem costing. What is this costing you in hard dollars per month not to fix this problem? This is a big one, because when you focus on why it's costing them not to fix it, the cost of that could be a lot less than, guess what, a lot more than the investment of your product or service. Example, if the problem is costing them $100,000 a year, let's say they have a business and they needed a system in place, and not having this computer system, whatever the case may be, is costing them X amount of dollars. Well, Mr. Client, let me ask you, it's costing you $100,000 not to fix the problem. If you were to install this system in place and we were to do it for you, your investment would only be $10,000 compared to the $100,000 that you're leaving on the table. You'll notice the way I speak. I emphasize, and I use my cadence, I use my body language, I put my heart into the message that I'm trying to deliver. And that's very important. And you want to be in that type of communication, have that cadence, and really make them feel the problem. And you want to feel that problem inside. You say $100,000, man, that's like you hiring a senior executive and he doesn't show up to work and you're still paying him. Imagine that. So imagine if the cost or the investment was only $10,000 and it would 10x into your bottom line. What would that do for you? You see, I changed the objection of I want to think about it, or I want to talk to my partner, into, guess what? Into wanting to do this now. So let's wrap this up. Watch how I use the deposit close. Here we go.
Say, listen, usually we ask for a $2,000 or $1,000 deposit. I'm going to make it easy for you. How about if we did a $500 deposit? Because if you can get the money across the table and then he talks to the wife, he's going to sound more confident because he makes some decisions. And I tell this guy, say, if you talk to your wife without putting a deposit in, you're not going to be as confident. Because once you put your skin in the game and then talk to her, she'll be convinced that you want to do this. So get the deposit. Because the deposit is not necessarily giving the big sale yet, but it's getting them across the table. And I was listening to Garrett Gunderson. He said, transactions produce transformations. You've got to get our job is to collect money. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what makes this business work. So I asked him, say, listen, let's put a deposit in. This will show you yourself that you're committed. You're vested in this. And you can tell her, listen, honey, they usually ask for a $2,000 deposit. I only give them $500 because I want to do this so bad. Let me do this. She's going to see that through your eyes, that you actually took the step and were bold enough to be a leader to make a decision.
You just did so many ninja moves right there in that.
Yeah,
Ninja after ninja after ninja. One of the ninja moves that you just did, I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but tell him how to talk to his wife about it.
Yeah, I do that.
You know, and he price anchored. Typically it's 2,000, but I'll just let you do it for 500 now, and tell your wife that. I mean, that was brilliant. That was great.
All right, let's stop sharing and summarize this. So what did you learn? All right, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. Use it in your conversations, overcome those objections. In fact, hit them up before they even come up. Okay, prevent the objections from even coming up. So let's do this. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click on the share and like button. I'll see you on the next one. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.